things work for our good, though sometimes we don't see how they could. Struggles that break our hearts in two sometimes blind us to the truth. Our Father knows what's best for us. His ways are not our own. So when your pathway grows dim and you just don't see Him, remember you're never alone. God is too wise to be mistaken, and God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. He sees the master plan, and He holds the future in His hands. So don't live as those who have no hope. All our hope is found in Him. We see the present clearly, but He sees the first and last. And like a tapestry, He's weaving you and me to someday be just like Him. Oh, God is too wise to be mistaken, and God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. He alone is faithful and true, and He alone knows what is best for you. God is too wise to be mistaken, and God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. When you don't understand, and when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. things work for our good, though sometimes we don't see how they could. Struggles that break our hearts in two sometimes blind us to the truth. Our Father knows what's best for us. His ways are not our own. So when your pathway grows dim and you just don't see Him, remember you're never alone. God is too wise to be mistaken, and God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. He sees the master plan, and He holds the future in His hands. So don't live as those who have no hope. All our hope is found in Him. We see the present clearly, but He sees the first and last. And like a tapestry, He's weaving you and me to someday be just like Him. Oh, God is too wise to be mistaken, and God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. He alone is faithful and true, and He alone knows what is best for you. God is too wise to be mistaken, and God is too good to be unkind. So when you don't understand, when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. When you don't understand, and when you don't see His plan, and when you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. Baby, follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Cause this your milky for front enough for me. Hold on for me, I no go do me corny. And if you're milky na fighty, I saw me to look. Gelatoni, oh baby, sumoyo deep. Baby, gonna waka waka when you enter my licha. Baby, gonna.
Get through, remember.
Baby, follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Cause this your milky for front enough for me. Hold on for me, I no go do me corny. And if you're looking a fighty, I saw me to look. Gelatoni, oh baby, sumoyo deep. Baby, gonna waka waka when you enter my licha. Baby, gonna. Baby, follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Cause this your milky for front enough for me. Hold on for me, I no go do me corny. And if you're milky na fighty, I saw me to look. Gelatoni, oh baby, sumoyo deep. Baby, gonna waka waka when you enter my licha. Baby, gonna. Baby, follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Cause this your milky for front enough for me. Hold on for me, I no go do me corny. And if you're milky na fighty, I saw me to look. Gelatoni, oh baby, sumoyo deep. Baby, gonna waka waka when you enter my licha. Baby, gonna. Baby, follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Follow my command, like zombie. Go down for fronting for me. Hold on for me, I no go do me corny. And if you're licking a fighty, I saw me to look. Gelatoni, oh baby, sumoyo, baby, kona. Waka when you enter my licha. Baby, kona.
All right, good evening, everyone. Good evening. We want to thank Uhuru for sponsoring the first part of this evening's program. This evening's program is sponsored by Uhuru, by Yak and Friends, which will be happening. Uhuru will be happening on the 27th of this month at City Hall, San Fernando at 3 p.m. Those of you who are interested in tickets, you can contact the number that you're seeing on your screen, which is 464-7003, 464-7003. So if you are interested, you can contact 464-7003. Uhuru, Yak and Friends presents Uhuru 7 on Saturday, the 26th of July, 2025. Remember, you can call 464-7003 if you're interested in getting tickets for Uhuru 7. All right, so let me say good evening to those of you who are joining me on the live. Good evening to you. Thank you very, very much for being a part of Constructive Talk this evening here in somewhat warm Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know where this heat come from, but the place is making warm, boy. It's making warm. But again, let me say good evening to those of you and thank you very, very much for being on Constructive Talk with me, Pastor Google, and our first hour is, or half an hour, is sponsored by Yak and Friends. Yak and Friends is having Uhuru 7 at City Hall, San Fernando at 3 p.m. All right, the 26th of July, 2025. So we want to thank Yak and Friends. We have our first ad on Constructive Talk, and I want to say thank you to Yak and Friends for sponsoring putting the first ad actually on Constructive Talk. I want to say thank you to them, and we pray that they get great success in their event on the 26th of July. Why I'm saying 26th of July. All right, on the 26th of July. So again, let me say thank you to Yak and Friends for being the first group to advertise their emancipation event. Don't miss it. I can tell you it's an awesome event. All right, it's an awesome event that has been this is the 7th edition. So it's not a Johnny Come Lately group. It's people who have been involved in this event for some time. 7 years is not a little bit of years. So we want to thank them. I want to thank them very much for being the first group to advertise on Constructive Talk. All right, so you're going to see the ad one more time. I'm going to play it one more time. For those of you who are now jumping on the live, good evening to you. I'm seeing 205 on YouTube, and I'm seeing some people on Facebook. Let me say thank you all very, very much for being on with me this evening. And I just kind of celebrating the fact that I got my first ad to run on Constructive Talk. Remember, if you're interested in getting tickets for this emancipation event in San Fernando on the 26th of July 2025 at City Hall, San Fernando at 3 p.m. All right? At 3 p.m. You can call the number that you're seeing on the screen, 464-7003, if you're interested in getting tickets for an emancipation event, Uhuru, at City Hall, San Fernando at 3 p.m. on the 26th of July. You can call 464-7003, or there's another number you can call, and I'll give you that number now, so that you can contact this individual and you'll get more information, much more information about the event. So you can call 684-1792. 684-1792. 684-1792. You call that number right now, you get onto somebody, and they will tell you all about Uhuru 7 at City Hall, San Fernando on the 26th of July, 2025. All right, let's play that ad one more time. I'm going to play that ad for you one more time, and you're going to take it in, and I'm going to come back right after the ad, and we're going to get into our discussion today. All right, so those of you who are on the live, you're going to see the ad now.
Baby, follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Cause this your milky for front enough for me. Hold on for me, I no go to me corny.
So for those of you who are looking at the ad that's being played right now on YouTube and on Facebook, this is Yak and Friends presents Uhuru 7 at City Hall, San Fernando, where it is going to be an epic event. It's all about Uhuru 7 at City Hall, San Fernando on the 26th of July 2025. The event starts at 3 p.m. sharp. Please be a part of it. Uhuru 7. For those of you who want to get more information about the event, you can call 684-1792. 684-1792. You can call that number and you will get all the information that you need about Uhuru 7 2025. All right. Again, I want to send out my thank you to the, the people at Yak and Friends for being the first group, the first set of persons to advertise on Constructive Talk. All right. I want to thank them very much. They didn't have to, but they saw that my numbers are reflecting a difference, you know what I mean? So they realize, hey, this guy can get through to some persons who will be interested in being a part of our event this year. So, yep, Yak and Friends. Yak and Friends presents Uhuru 7 at San Fernando City Hall. Starts at 3 p.m. sharp on the 26th of July, 2025. Be a part of it. Call the number that I gave you a while ago, and you get all of the information that you will need. All of the information that you would need Uhuru 7. The number again is 684-1792. 684-1792. All right. Anybody wants to? Hey, somebody saying congrats to you, Pastor Google. Yeah. I taking that. All right. I taking that, man. I taking that. All right. So anybody who wants to be a part of it, just send me some thumbs up. Send me some thumbs up. And say, yeah, I will be a part of it. All right. So I'm looking for some thumbs up. And as you come on to the live, please, you know always do it. Let me know where you're looking at me from. All right. Let me know what part of Trinidad and Tobago you are looking. This is a roll call. Roll call time. All right. On Constructive Talk, touch base with me. Let me know where you are looking at me from. I want to know where you're touching base with me. All right. San Fernando, Coquille, Marabella, Embacadere, Port of Spain, St. James, where again? Diego Martin, wherever you're joining me, wherever you live in New York, London, wherever you're looking at me from, just touch base with me now. Let me know. Lavantil is in the house. So I'm seeing the first person to say hi to me where they're living is Lavantil. Somebody from Florida has jumped on. Hey, I'd like for you to tell me what part of Florida you okay. All right. So just touch base with me now and let me know where you are looking at me from. You know, I want to know, I'm intrigued to know where you are touching base with me this evening on Constructive Talk. All right? I'd like to know, you know. I'd like to know exactly where you're touching base with me. Kuva is in the house. I see somebody from Lavantil West. Tobago is in the house. Maloney is in the house. Brooklyn is in the house. La Romaine is in the house.
Hear it. Protesters daily declare it. Bedlam on Nelson or Peter. When you are shut down the program. Can dance from Queen Street to Charlotte. When they hot and ready to riot. What they what we do like they what we.
So touch base with me. Let me know where you're looking at me from. And put some thumbs up if you're going to be interested in Uhuru this year. Uhuru 7 at City Hall, San Fernando. 3 p.m. sharp on the 26th of July, 2025. South Oropuch in the house. Brooklyn, New York.
Poverty and no damn excuse for crime. No way. Poverty is no excuse. You don't ever win but lose. But with upward mobilization, nothing beats good education. Next time a youth man say it, hit him a slap one time.
See somebody tell me they're looking at me from New York.
No way.
Febo Village. Hey, Febo Village, Sawa. Sandy Grandy's in the house.
Youth bend down on the bread line.
Rio Claro.
They sing and then rewind. Don't care for white pepper pasta. Tell them to walk.
Somebody on from Tagarigua on Facebook.
Will his force right? If see people they miss out a fortnight. But they what we do, how they what we eat.
Lavantil in the house.
See the problem, boss man run the bread is the anthem. Boss it measure one and string up.
So just when you come on, let me know where you're looking at me from. I see somebody from Atlanta is locked on.
Hercules, when they kill
Aruka Bonnet.
the mother said it wasn't murder. She son was just seeking.
Santa Cruz is in the house.
So broken, who don't have a cent for time. Poverty and no damn excuse for crime. No way, poverty is no excuse. So when is your time to choose? Instead of shooting and looting, my pattern, my lot still recruiting. Tell them youth man chant it before our next church bell chime. Poverty and no.
So again, when you join on the live, just let me know where you're looking at me from. I just want to shout out your community. I'm seeing somebody from Saparia.
Eat. That is no excuse. When them vendors get chased off the
Shagonas is in the house. Miaro. Just type and let me know where you're looking at me from now, man.
Money, love, that is no excuse. Can't thief you have a cent. That is no excuse. Yeah, mind your picnic, can't pay your rent. That is no excuse. If life giving you a really
Good night, good night, good night to those of you joining me on the live on YouTube.
yes.
Let me say good evening to Lavantil. San Fernando is in the house.
Take a look at
What part of San Fernando you're looking at me from? San Fernando is a big place. And
poverty because of drive and ambition. Today that same more proud with billions. And over 74 years ago, a little black boy born in Tobago. No shoes on his feet, walked from miles to school.
Maraval is in the house. Santa Rosa Remo.
Catch us and hard grind was the story. But today, as our PM, he rule. He never said like back in the 90s.
So just let me know where you're joining me from. We're doing a roll call this evening. We're doing a quick roll call.
Today I go make a killing. Never once stoop to tea.
And remember, this time is sponsored by Yak and Friends.
Poverty could
Yak and Friends invites you to Uhuru 7
poverty is no
at San Fernando City Hall
call for that abuse.
on the 26th of July 2025, starting time 3 p.m.
Or you're jobless, you're living in mental slavery. Exorcise that thought from your mind.
And if you're interested in tickets, you can call the number that you're seeing on the screen,
No way,
which is 464
no excuse.
7003.
That is your views. If that is your present,
You have to call to get your tickets, no paying by the door.
there's no
I'm seeing somebody from Point Fortin joining me, Shagona's joining me, Marabella joining me, Maraca St. Joseph joining me.
excuse.
Hey!
Don't come sing me no blues. I was born and raised in the ghetto. I work real hard and I get through even if on a pub.
So we're just doing a roll call, a roll call, a really quick roll call for
And no damn excuse for crime.
you to tell me where you're looking at me from.
There's no excuse. So that stigma please refuse. There are many heroes and legends who emerge from slums like the beat. And once your mind can conceive it, there's no mountain you can't.
I see you, Sandy Gandhi.
And no damn excuse for crime.
I see you, La Romaine.
No way. Go tell your big leader. Who causing the problem? Oh boy. No way, no way. No way.
Trin City, good evening to you. Trin City, good evening. Maryland in the U.S. I'm seeing people joining me on Facebook from Canada. Brooklyn.
In life that you must avoid. Guaranteed to drive you paranoid. Negative people. Oh gosh. Negative people.
Febo Village Sound 1.
They
Baraport.
kill your dream.
Baraport.
Passion and your self-esteem.
Coco Reed in the house.
Oh gosh.
Tuna Puna.
You alone control how far you could go.
So as you jump onto the live, just let me know where you're looking at me from. We're doing a roll call this evening. And our roll call is sponsored by Uhuru, Yak and Friends. An event that's happening on the 26th of July,
Oh, just blame.
2025 at San Fernando City Hall at 3 p.m. sharp.
No
You have fashion, African fashion.
don't give up, no,
You have drumming.
don't give
You have singing. You have good food.
fail to try.
And you know what you have most of all?
Winners never quit.
You have the family of African people coming together to show love and support for each other.
Watching you start to climb.
Embacade San Fernando is locked on.
Don't give up, no, no.
Tacarigua is in the house.
You wanna reach where the air is red, shine from the
Point Fortin joining on Facebook.
with us.
Rio Claro joining on Facebook. Princess Tong in the house on Facebook.
Man wrong in rap.
Launch Park in, I don't, what? Thank you very much for joining me.
They just don't want you to get ahead. We cut you down by talking instead. Negative people.
So again, we want to thank Yak and Friends for sponsoring this half an hour.
Jealousy is all that beats in their hearts.
Remember, you can join them on the 26th of July, 2025 at City Hall San Fernando, where they present to you, Yak and Friends present to you, Uhuru 7. So you know what I'll do? I'll play this song for Yak and Friends.
They say how we keep on growing older.
So if you're now jumping onto the live, let me say good evening to you and welcome to Constructive Talk with me, Pastor Google. I would start at 8 and take you straight until 11. Let me say thank you to those of you who watched this live over, because there are some people, when I go back and I watch the amount of people view the live is about over 3,000 persons. Even as soon as the ad is finished, even as soon as the program is finished, it's close to about 1,000 something persons view the live. And I want to say thank you all very, very much for the love and the support. All right, especially on Facebook and YouTube. I am overly thankful. I am really grateful for your support and your love and encouragement. There are people who watch the program, they're watching the rerun, and they call the phone to make their contribution, not knowing that they're watching a rerun. But that's okay. That's okay. And when they call, they get the love, they give me the support, and they are there with me. And I want to say thank you publicly. Publicly, I want to say thank you, especially for my first ad on Constructive Talk from Yak and Friends. It's an emancipation. It's an African group. They have their event that's happening on the 26th of July 2025 at City Hall, San Fernando. You can contact 684-1792. 684-1792. You can contact them for tickets. It's a ticket event. You cannot come and pay at the door because it's a catered event. And, so they need to know beforehand how much persons are going to be in attendance. So you need to contact them urgently. Contact them now. Those of you who live in San Fernando and you're always saying how South do nothing with emancipation and whatever. There is a group by the name of Yak and Friends. They have an event that's happening this month on the 26th of July at City Hall, San Fernando, where you will see fashion, you would get African food, you would hear drumming, you would hear all the ancestral vibes. You know what I mean? Yeah, you'll get it at that event on the 26th. On the 26th of July, 2025, at 3 p.m., Yak and Friends presents Uhuru 7 at City Hall, San Fernando. 3 p.m. sharp. African music, African drumming, African clothes. Most of all, African people showing love.
Respect, cause in the face of difficulty, I'm more than stick out your neck. But now I've noticed a little something that just a bit disturbing. Behavior that has me harassed. So let me address it real fast. Well, I know your road wasn't easy, sister. Yes, you endured the strain. You push and you climb the ladder. But now you're looking back with disdain. Boasting to the masses, you did it all on your own. Talking I and I. But you didn't do it alone. Come down from there. This sister helped your mother when she was pregnant with you. This sister was the midwife who made sure that you pulled through. This was the babysitter when your mommy was not at home. This sister planning combos when you can't need it a little comb. So don't turn up your nose at the village. Don't be so puffed up with pride. Cause for you to stand up there with your head held high, it takes a village, my child. Bang badoo, they get bang badoo, way bang badoo, and I go let it slide. No. Have some respect for the tribe. just manifest every day. So when they say who don't hear go feel, and oh damn the bridge that you cross, they weren't speaking no idle words. They understood what we stand to lose. With an attitude of resentment, won't let your sister drink from your cup. You keep seeing it as a handout, when all she needs is a handout. But you're so caught up in your feelings, so wrapped up in your zone, with this I. But you couldn't do it alone. Come down from there. This sister saw your product, and she came with this one to buy. And both of them start to spread the news, and I'll give you your wings to fly. This one couldn't afford it, but she still shared your post. And all the people she shared it with, man, is them that is by the most. So don't turn your back on the village. Don't let success cloud your mind. Cause for you to stand up there with your head held high, it takes a village, my child. We're not gonna let it slide. No. Have some respect for the tribe. This sister gave you money to help with your event, and when it was a success, she didn't ask you back for a cent. This one does buy your tickets, even if she can't come. But when you're giving out complimentary, good Lord, she can't even get one. You'll burn the bridge to your village, your foundation you can't deny. Cause for you to stand up there with your head held high, it takes a village, my child.
So again, I want to thank Yak and Friends for sponsoring this segment on Constructive Talk. You know, you had to give the people on them the thanks and the love, man. You had to give it to them. You had to say thank you to them. So, those of you who are joining me on Constructive Talk and you want to know what's going on, Yak and Friends present Uhuru 7 at City Hall, San Fernando on the 26th of July 2025. It's in honor of Miss Inez Smith. Right, you see the price of the ticket. It's on Saturday the 26th of July, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Come in your African way. You'll be a part of it at City Hall, San Fernando, 3 p.m. sharp. Alright, if you're looking at it on YouTube or on Facebook, you're seeing that those are the persons that was there last year. Yep, they were there last year. And you can be a part of it. You will just contact 684-1792 if you want tickets. 684-1792. We're going to get into our Constructive Talk time now. Alright, so share the live.
Question today. Know that the man retire, people spitting fire, and every talking head having their say. For in this mixed up land that we call Trinbago, many times it does just boil down to race. They say that one side like African and the next prefer East Indian, but it's a way of choosing leaders is a disgrace. Hear why? Because a leader not made, setting standards is their trade. Blessed is the one who was born to lead. A mentor.
So,
Shara trade.
good evening again to those of you joining me on YouTube and on Facebook.
Their greatest tool.
It's my pleasure to have you in my company this evening.
Yet forever learning.
And I want to make a boast this evening. I want to make a boast in something this evening. I want to tell you that you're hooked on and locked on to the best current affairs program in this country. I want to, and especially to people who, you know, they always say to me, Pastor Google, we thank you for the information that you share. We thank you for informing us and stuff like that. Let me tell you something now. Today, the opposition had a press conference. I don't know how many of you looked at it. I don't know how many of you listened to it. I don't know how many of you picked up what was said at that press conference today. But I had the opportunity to listen to the press conference, and I tapped myself on the back. I literally tapped myself on the back and said, good job. You're on the ball. You're bringing the people, and I told you all that our job on Constructive Talk is to hold this government accountable, number one. Number two, be aware. Be aware. Be on the ball. Be conscious of what's happening in this country, Trinidad and Tobago. I told you all that. I said I didn't create this platform for no bacchanal, no confusion, no penny, and no short young, and no this and no that. I'm not on that. I created this platform to bring awareness to the nation on what is going on. You see, some of us, we ignorant to know of what's happening. Some of us don't listen to news. Some of us find the atmosphere of the country is so gloomy, it feels as though we are at a sudden stop. While some are saying, give the government a chance. Give them at the end of the year. Give them until the end of the year. But for some of us, we are watching, we are observing, we're recognizing that, hey, something is up. Something isn't right. So we have to watch closely. Watch very closely at what's happening. So I brought to your attention about the Chancellor. Some of you, yeah, Google. Okay. So what? Some of you were like, yeah. Good information, something that we need to keep our eyes on, we need to watch. And I also said to you that I listened to Ms. Bisessa's speech on Monday twice. And it is passing strange that at no point in time Ms. Bisessa spoke about the CPEP workers. At no point in time she talked about the forestry workers. At no point in time. But she addressed some things. Not bread and butter issues, but she addressed some issues that I personally found to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. And one of the things that jumped out at me was this, that I heard former Attorney General, former Member of Parliament for San Fernando West, former Minister of Rural Development, Mr. Faris Alwari, was talking at the press conference that was held at the opposition leader office, at the opposition leader's office today. And I want to play for you some of the things that Mr. Alwari had to say. Would you listen with me attentively to what Mr. Alwari had to talk about? And the reason why I tapped myself on the back today was because what I spoke about here on Constructive Talk platform, Mr. Alwari talked about it. And he spoke about other things. And I want to say to you, wake up in Trinidad and Tobago. This is going to be a long, hot summer. This is not going to be like 2010. Legislations are going to come and you're going to look at it as nothing, but it is something. It's going to affect this nation, you know. So while you might have listened to me last night and say, but why are you making a big deal about this chancellor? Well, what's the problem with this chancellor? I think that's a good idea. Because cases that take too long in the court. Hey, I want you to listen to what Mr. Alwari is saying. And just what I said last night, let's wait also and see where this is going. Because apparently, some of us are sleeping. But you know what? I am here to wake you up. Trust me. And to wake you up, I will. So, I want you to join me. I really, really want you to join me. And please share the live. On Facebook, share the live. On YouTube, share the live. And let's listen to what Faris Alwari had to say at the press conference today at the opposition office. All right? Thank you all again for joining me on the live. Those of you on Facebook and those of you on YouTube. Take a listen to the Honorable Faris Alwari.
And we must treat with it. In relation to the court executive administrator and the chancellor, I want to remind that the present government, when in opposition, went to war with the office of the court executive administrator. They did not support, in the course of the debate, the creation of the executive office and the deputies. There has been a broadside attack against one former court executive administrator. There have been four since who, and I'm speaking specifically about retired Master Christian Morris Allen. I want to state publicly here that notwithstanding and contrary to the very wrong statements in the parliament that Master Morris Allen was working for the AG's office as a consultant and the judiciary and was still in the judiciary, that's just not true. She retired ages ago and was acting as a consultant. So I just want to put that to bed. But the chancellor is a concept which has long been moved away from in other jurisdictions. I want to remind you that the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago sets up the judiciary, read from sections 99 onward. I want to remind you that there is administrative management in the judiciary. That's why I mentioned plant and machinery, people, process, and law. I want to remind you that there's been a massive digitization of the judiciary. I take credit in part for that in working with the judiciary and in working with the government and as AG pushing forward those reforms. I mean, it's not lost upon everyone that you now go to court virtually. And I want to caution against the brandishing statements that the Prime Minister made. The Law Association has found its voice, the Honorable Prime Minister complained. And they should have been talking about virtual courts. Virtual courts have allowed for better access to justice, particularly for people that can't attend. And virtual courts now see a completely reorganized magistracy where you have a digitized environment, you have electronic appearances, you have an entirely different structure. But when you get to the issue of the chancellor is not a term just to be bandied around like that. It must be plugged into where the judiciary stands right now, and therefore we must have caution on the introduction of any concept of chancellor. We need more information. We need more interrogation of the structure because, as Senator Brown correctly identified, there has been an unholy broadside attack against the independent bench. Go back to the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Section 40 sets up the composition of the Senate. 9 persons in the Senate are to be appointed by the president in his or her own discretion. Since time has set up our parliament, we've been doing that. Senator Brown put it beautifully. According to the UNC, if you support the UNC as a government, you are independent. But if you make the mistake question law, you are not independent. There has been an incredible attack against Senator Vera, somebody who I served with in the period 2010 to 2015. I presented as Attorney General before him in 2015 to 2022, and as Minister of Rural Development and Local Government. Senator Vera has had serious issues with laws, sometimes that I piloted myself. Never once did you hear me complain about Senator Vera's disposition or arguments in law. Instead, we listened to it. I have passed hundreds of laws, and it never once bothered me that the independent bench had an issue with a law that was being presented. Never. And I cannot for the life of me say that we are headed in the right democratic direction when you listen to a government consistently attack independent offices. Unless you're with them, something wrong with you. And on the issue of CPEP, when you look at it in the category of other issues right now, I expected the Prime Minister at the Monday Night Forum to be talking about financial support. We call upon the government to give financial support to dismissed workers. We are in the middle of the school vacation. Book lists have to be bought. We have uniforms to be handled. 20,000 people nearly have lost their jobs. Not a word was spared for these workers by the government at the Monday Night Forum. Not a single word. I genuinely thought that those were the important national issues that Mrs. Prasad Bisesa wanted, in self-described mother of the nation, to talk to people directly about. I would have said, well, okay, CARICOM comes second, because we've never historically had 20,000 people fired in 7 weeks. That is a large national event. And I find it remarkable, folks, that the coverage of the media is as it is. Apparently, there are no more floods in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a disappearance of the death clock on the front page of the Express that we used to have all the time and other newspapers. It just disappeared. What's going on, folks? I'm concerned about where our democracy is headed to. I don't stand here today to say that we oppose adjustments in age limits for drinking and for marijuana or in other aspects, but there must be more than a simple statement. And there must be financial support for CPEP workers and forestry workers. We understand that nearly 5,000 URP workers are next.
Ding, 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 line. I was thinking what kind of song to write for the year 2001. Should I compose a nation building song or just blaze them politicians? But when I hear Pandey get 19 seats and he run and give his speech of victory, I tell myself something wrong, so I compose this song for kinky head people like me, because I don't understand what's really happening. For years me Crooks and Panther was busting we liver string. Well, I honestly believe the message was loud and clear, but the results from the elections proved to me stick breaking black man air. They don't hear, so don't expect me to jam your prime minister. No, don't tell me I stopped drinking bush tea for your fever. I said no, don't tell me Cause you ain't do it once, but you did it twice. Elections gone, it's you choose Barabbas in front of Christ. So if you notice your little daughter bringing home a grand, because Camilla.
So you all had a good listen to what Senator Faris Alwari had to say. I just want to open up the phone lines to hear what you think. Honestly, I would like to open up the phone lines early. 8 o'clock, I want to open up the phone lines 464-7003, 464-7003, 464-7003. What are your thoughts about what you just heard Senator Faris Alwari had to say? What are your thoughts about what he had to say? I want to hear your views.
1998, I got chastised when I sing my song. But if I did like game, I would have take out she name and deceitfully win me crown. UNC corrupt like hell, but Satmaraj wouldn't say so. As black man open me mouth, he find that man in should go. To these negative response from the black man, I'm not surprised, because I've come to one conclusion: today black man is his own demise. He ain't wise. So don't tell me nothing about the EBC. No, don't tell me, because I know some of you vote.
Nobody have anything to say, boy?
Don't tell me. Don't tell me that they cancel the URP. And how you can't get work to maintain your family. So if you end up just like a criminal on the run, because all the promises that they make, they ain't keeping none. And civil servants can't get it back pay, plus you self can't get a 10 days. Please don't stop me in the road to complain, cause I wouldn't be amazed. My little knowledge now I must preserve. You get a government you deserve. To protest of them now will take plenty nerve. You get a government you deserve.
So so it's something that we need to keep our eyes on. Something that we need to keep our eyes on, Trinidad and Tobago. Because you heard what Faris, Honorable SC Faris Alwari, the senator, he made some statements, and I just wanted to highlight it this evening, because to me, I said to myself, but wait now, I didn't talk about this yesterday, and it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, one of the things too that I wanted to highlight was what Senator, the Honorable Amy Brown had to say. Senator Amy Brown brought some points across that, you know, I think some people are ignoring also. But you could call me, tell me what are your thoughts, you know. Call 464-7003, 464-7003.
Pleading the fifth, my little crocodile tried to preserve. You got a government you deserve. Ask Manning how much money he left reserve. You get a government you deserve.
Good. Always. Sugar.
Thank you.
While I wait for your phone call, I'm going to play for you a little snippet of what Dr. Amy Brown had to say.
But a fish always rotten from the head.
Thank you very much, MP Marvin Gonzalez, Chief Whip.
I want you to listen to what Honorable Senator Dr. Amy Brown had to say,
Condolences to the Honorable Penelope Beckles Robinson on the sudden demise and unfortunate demise of her younger brother earlier this week. Good morning, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues who are gathered here today for this media conference. As the national community and the regional community are well aware, this week saw the convening in Jamaica of the 49th edition of the CARICOM Conference of Heads of Government in Montego Bay, hosted by the Right Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. We are also well aware and fully disappointed that the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessar, did not attend this Heads of Government meeting. I must tell you that this came as a surprise to other heads of government across the region, and we have been besieged by queries, questions, and matters of speculation from across the region as to the reason and rationale for the absence of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, noting a number of issues. First of all, this is about 2 months since a new government was elected in this country, and this meeting, this in-person meeting, would have been a very important opportunity to reacquaint with peers, other heads of government across the region, to meet heads of government who were elected since 2015, so some would have never had a physical interaction with Kamla Persad Bissessar before, and also critically, to be able to have direct in-person interaction with some of the special guests that traditionally gather for heads of government meeting. And in this case, I want to reference two guests that were present. One was the Secretary General of the Organization of American States, newly elected in 2025, the Honorable Albert Ramden, having assumed that important position with lead hemispheric responsibilities. This was a precious opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago at the head of government level to establish ourselves in the priority of the OAS Secretary General, and also critically, the other important guest that I would reference is the Secretary General of Interpol. The Secretary General of Interpol was present in Montego Bay as a guest at the Heads of Government meeting, again having direct bilateral meetings with a number of heads, Trinidad and Tobago being absent at the Heads of Government level. I reference this specifically because Trinidad and Tobago has lead responsibility for regional security within the CARICOM quasi-cabinet. So the absence of our Prime Minister, a full 2 months after being elected, sends all the wrong signals to CARICOM, sends all the wrong signals to the OAS, sends all the wrong signals to Interpol, and certainly particularly to fellow heads of government in this region. It really sends a very unfortunate message. You would recall members of the...
All right, you have a caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Good afternoon.
All right, good evening.
Pastor Google?
Yes, sir.
What happened? You all right?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Where you think about Juju boy?
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hey, good evening, sir. How you going?
I'm okay. I don't know what happened there. Go ahead.
The whole thing is that this is how the opposition has to perform, sir. Bring the facts and compare and contrast. And you see, that is important, especially the point he made about the amount of bills he would have piloted as AG and people making contributions, sometimes averse to what the government at the time would have had. But this is all part of what? Democracy. Right? And not only democracy, but a mature democracy where people could share their views, and even though you may not agree with them in the fullness of what democracy is supposed to be, and if you ascribe to that, that is what you need. And and there was no question about the senator's contribution coming from a point of view of being biased or having a particular slant. No, it matters not how he was appointed or what he was, but his contribution had substance, because it would have made it go now as the initiator of the bill to say, well, listen, we need to reconsider this clause or this particular wording, especially when you come to the stage of the bills, when it is in the committee stage. You understand, where you have a committee at the whole, where you would go through each piece of legislation clause by clause, word by word, and trying to get compromise, right? And the other thing about it, I wasn't able to get in last night, but the thing about, and it was instructive that you played that clip about the development of how the Lord Chancellor's role was separated, and how it has evolved to what it is today in England. And I just want to say with regards to that is that, yeah, the CJ is already freed of some of his administrative duties due to the work of the registrars, the one in South and the one in the North, and the court administrator, who handles a lot of the administrative work of the judiciary. But you know what this thing is about, Pastor Google, and for the listening audience? This is about an assault on the CJ in a roundabout way. And even though the Prime Minister is touting she wants to do something, she speaks with forked tongue. Because I'm telling you, this is a lady on a revenge mission. Just as her compatriot in the USA, that is what she on, a revenge mission. Right? And I'm telling you, sir, that what they intend to do is to destroy all the independent institutions and have them populated by their functionaries who will not function independently but will give paid to what the government wants to achieve. And particularly, sir, with the majority that they have, because they're drunk with that majority, right? They're drunk with that. And I am saying that once the opposition continues on this, highlighting this thing and coming to the people, not with no semantics and dramatics and all that, just come and bring it lucid for the people to understand. And also in a way that people could go and do the research and fact check it to see if they're lying. Unlike what is happening now, because blatant lies being told to us and people accept it and they're not even going and fact check. And this is what the opposition has to do, to save our democracy. Save it, because we need that. Because democracy under threat. I have no mistake about it, sir. Take care, and thanks for the opportunity as usual.
So wait, just now before you leave, I want to play something for you to hear, because you made a statement that this is going to justify your statement. Listen to this, right? You listening?
Yeah, sure.
Listen to this. For those of you who are on the live, I want you all to listen to this. You hearing it?
I am just saying
No, I hear it.
You had to listen
On
to
my
it
end.
on your you know hearing it on your TV.
On the television.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Yeah, because I read the television. All right, well, I'll hang up then because I might interfere if I listen to it on the television.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
While online with you. But thanks for the opportunity as usual.
You're most
Great show.
welcome. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to play it again because I want the caller to hear at what he said, how factual it is. You all remember when Ms. Visasa said this?
Mention it. I am not booking you.
You remember this?
I am just saying.
You remember that statement?
Expect us. I was too nice last time. I was too nice. And therefore, no, I was too nice. And people took my kindness for weakness. That will not happen this time. I have a country to run and I have people to look after. Sorry, Akash, that's the answer.
See, Purple Cuz? Well, what do you want to say? She was too nice. She was too nice. Last time. She was too nice last time. And people took her kindness for weakness. Let's go. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Your volume super low. We're not hearing that at all. We're not hearing it.
Okay, I don't know why.
There is the volume on the
Which one?
clip. On the clip. As far as it was low too, but this one you're hearing nothing at all.
Okay, that's strange because I was listening to Faris on the other end and I was hearing it loud and clear.
Way back in the background. This one here, barely hearing it.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just So what did I play for you just now? For the caller to hear or for the listeners to hear what I played just now, I will play it for you again. All right? Take a listen to what I played just now. Take a listen.
You cannot continue to hold us to one standard, but fail to mention the other. So when you ask this question, mention it. I am not booking you. I am just saying you cannot expect us. I was too nice last time. Yes. I was too nice. And therefore, no, I was too nice and people took my kindness for weakness. That will not happen this time.
Right? She was too nice last time. She was too nice last time. And people took her kindness for weakness. Right? So all you. She was too nice last time. Oh gosh. Olia, the number to call 464-7003. 464-7003. And I want to play, I'm going back to Senator in a little bit, But there's something I want to play for you guys to hear. I want to play it in your hearing because some of you are a little too naive about what we're talking about now. You understand? You're a little too naive about what we're talking about. So what I want to do is I want to play something for you guys to hear. And I want you all to listen to this carefully, yeah? Because some of you, as the caller just said, we need to do our research. We need to do our research. And when we do our research, we need to be aware and stop being naive. They come with a plan, and you're seeing the plan being executed. The plan is being well executed. 2 months, and you're already talking about all these different laws that they want to change. Huh? In 2 months' time? That's something to look at. That's something to be aware of. And that's something for you not to be ignorant of. You hear me, Trinidad and Tobago? Something for you to be aware of and not for you to be ignorant of. So I'm looking for it because I had it set to play for you this evening. Meanwhile, I'll take your calls, you know. Take your calls on 464-7003. 464-7003. I'll take you back to the Honorable Amy Brown, Senator Amy Brown.
The Treaty of Chaguaramas having been signed right here on our soil on the 4th of July 1973 in Chaguaramas, Trinidad and Tobago has maintained a leadership role, a policy shaping role since then. Across administrations, I would say the last low point would have been in the 2010 to 2015 era, when a number of transgressions were committed by the then Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar and her, PP government at the time. And the media would be familiar with some of those transgressions. Disappointing responses to regional natural disasters in some instances. A very disappointing position which they maintain with respect to the Caribbean Court of Justice, which is not supported, that position not being supported by many of her peers, and references to Trinidad and Tobago is not an ATM machine and other very callous statements. The point being that attendance here on July 6th to 8th would have given an opportunity for a responsible Prime Minister to reset the temperature, to reset the engagement, and to reset our leadership and her leadership potentially within the CARICOM family. That opportunity was squandered. And instead of attending, which was in fact her duty so to do, the Prime Minister dispatched 2 brand new novice ministers to represent this nation in Montego Bay. So yes, there were the obligatory photo ops and kind comments from other members of the regional family. But when it comes to advancing the business of Trinidad and Tobago and the leadership of Trinidad and Tobago, the regional family was left disappointed. And this...
So, that was Senator Amy Brown talking about the Prime Minister not being present at the CARICOM, heads of CARICOM meeting. He said a lot of things in that clip. A lot of things that some of us need to be open up, need to be aware of, tonight. Right? Need to be aware of. But you know what? The president of Trinidad and Tobago, Miss Christine Kangaloo, hit back, boy. She's not being bullied. She's not going to sit back and be bullied. What did Miss Kangaloo have to say? Take a little listen to the headlines. Listen to the headlines this evening and what happened, what she said.
Tonight, Christine Kangaloo defends impartiality, questioning double standards and gender bias in criticism of her presidency.
You hear that? Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Pastor Google.
Talk to me.
Good evening to listeners. Pastor Google, I'll be short tonight. I want your listeners, all the CPEP contractors, all the CPEP workers, spread the news. We will be down at the Beetham Gardens tomorrow, Ms. Beckles, Kareem, and the team who fighting for the CPEP workers. Please attend so you all will know what is going on. You all will know our fate You all know what the lawyers is doing for us as CPEP contractors and workers. Please come out in red and support our opposition leader, Mrs. Beckles, support Kareem, and everyone else who is supporting us. Please come out. It's bread and butter. This is real sticky time. Plenty of all the single mothers is home, and all the children home, and eating more food than they was going to school. And you have to find daycare to put them in and place to put them in and all kind of things. They have to spend more money. And then school coming, you have to find money to buy books and put them out to go to school. All your home, they fire all your. Please come out and support all your own interests. I'm begging you all, right? Come out and support your own interests. Fight with those who fighting for you. Please come out. Pastor Google, I'll look on listening.
Thank you very much. Well, you heard it. You always hear it here on Constructive Talk. You always hear it here whenever there is something that's going to be happening. You always hear it here. So tomorrow night at Beetham Gardens, all the CPEP contractors, spread the word around. All the CPEP contractors and everybody, you are asked to gather at the Beetham Gardens Community Center, where there will be a meeting hosted by the opposition leader, where she will be talking to you guys about what is happening and where is it going, what you know what I mean, what is going to be going on, where the case is concerned. All right. Today Kareem was supposed to be at the press conference, but the matter was before the court, so he wasn't there. All right. So you need to be there on Tuesday, tomorrow, at Beetham Gardens Community Center, to be aware of what's going on. I want to play for you what happened in the news today concerning the president, Ms. Paula Mavics. All right. Somebody's calling. Let me take this call first. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Doc.
Hi, good evening.
I think I heard today that our security minister met with the Jamaican security minister. Remember 2 years ago when they had the security confront, what the opposition said about the leaders? Could you remember that?
No, I can't.
I remember when he had the security, when the heads of security came to Trinidad and Tobago, hosted by
Dr. Rowley had a thing, and they call it they were kind of referring it to the crime situation as a pandemic.
Right. And you remember what the opposition said?
Nah, I can't remember what the opposition said.
They did not attend it. And they say a set of things come to Trinidad and how much they eat a food and stuff like that. That's what they referred to.
Right.
Now, you're going to back to the country to meet with these same individuals. How are you going to meet? Remember that Dr. Rowley had was to go and quell things in Jamaica when Jamaica wanted to boycott us? How do you expect our leader to talk back to the leader of Jamaica, which is the same leader? You diss. And when he was glad when Dr. Rowley come in that they had was a quell thing because Jamaica wanted to boycott our products. So how we expect to go to Jamaica? You have to send somebody else to country your place.
I remember that.
Even though they give us a 6 for 9 and tell us about the whole thing. But that's exactly what you don't want to lead. Leaders don't want to. You might go another area which is right next door to us.
Yeah.
But Jamaica really don't want to see. And Jamaica don't forget them kind of things. So
I know.
They're serious people.
Very serious.
And you know the heritage.
Yeah, I know.
All right. So that's one of the major challenges we have. I know much about the streets, so I ain't talking about that.
I'll play something for you in a little bit. All right, blessings. Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Thanks, Bishop, for calling. Right. I always appreciate your call, Bishop.
Blessings.
I always appreciate your call. Thanks very much. I appreciate everybody call, but Bishop does take his time to listen You know, I really appreciate it a whole lot. I want to play for you this evening in the news what transpired or what the media is saying about this attack on our president, Miss Christine Kangaloo. I don't know what it is they have with attacking presidents, eh?
The president is speaking out against critics, questioning the impartiality of her Senate appointments and scrutinizing her political past, suggesting that gender bias may be driving some of the commentary.
However, Public Relations Officer of the ruling party, Dr. Kirk Mayhew, says the president can protest as much as she wants, but the government has looked at the voting records of the independent senators and it has been pro-People's National Movement.
Andrea Perez-Sobers reports.
President Christine Kangaloo addressed recent public criticisms over her constitutional role and her background in partisan politics. At the opening of the Arthur Lockjack Global School of Business Women in Leadership Conference on Tuesday, Kangaloo said she often wondered whether the same double standards haven't always been applied to her by political commentators who, as it happens, are mostly male.
It makes no difference that I had given up active politics for a full 7 years before I was elected president. It makes no difference that unlike a former distinguished president who just so happened to be male, I did not move from being a cabinet minister one day directly to being president the next. It makes no difference that in any event our Constitution specifically contemplates a sitting member of Parliament becoming president.
Hitting back at the president's comments, UNC Public Relations Officer Dr. Kirk Mayhew claims that Kangaloo is grasping at straws as the government has no problem with women leaders, as the voting records of the independent senators has spoken for itself.
The country has seen behind the veil of independence. She can claim it all she wants, but the voting record is there. It is clear, and that is what we have been calling attention to. So she can protest as much as she wants, but we are pointing to objective facts.
Mayhew explains why the government brought up the president's political past.
We raised her political past because she is the most politically aligned president in our history. Politically aligned to one political party consistently, from her father down to her family and husband.
Political analyst Dr. Shane Mohammed says this is not the first president to ascend to the position from a political party and points out that Kangaloo was the Senate president a few years ago.
I don't know what the problem is. In fact, I strongly believe that this president understands her role and function better than the first female president did. And her predecessor understands her role much better.
Dr. Mohammed believes that the president shares a professional relationship with the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, political analyst Dr. Mukesh Basdio believes it's too early to tell if the independent senators are in fact politically aligned. Andrea Perez-Sobers, CNC3 News.
Opposition Senator Dr. Amy Brown says he's disgusted by the government's relentless attacks against independent senators, saying the PNM will challenge the government's intimidatory tactics.
At a news conference today, Dr. Brown says he believes the attacks from the Prime Minister, the UNC's PRO, Dr. Kirk Mayhew, sitting MPs, government senators and UNC activists are not a one-off issue, but rather a strategy to persuade independent senators to support the government on all matters. In his view, Prasad Visesa is well on her way to becoming a dictator.
A disgust, a disenchantment, disillusionment with the government's ongoing, relentless attacks on the independent senators. With this clear strategy of a consistent attack on the independent senators is in itself a clear sign of a trend toward dictatorship.
Dr. Brown also claimed the government is being silent on several other matters, including its stance on the Gaza-Palestine situation and the U.S. blockade of Cuba, among other pertinent matters.
Hey, you all hear that? What are your thoughts? Do you think that the attack on the president is warranted? What are your thoughts about what the president is saying? And you know, there's something I want to touch on this evening, There's something I want to touch on that a lot of persons, I'm not hearing any media house. I am not hearing any media house. Right? I'm not hearing any media house touch on this issue at all. I want you to listen to this. Something that I said to myself, but wait now. We just had the Prime Minister of India here, and a good friend of mine, and I want to say thank you to her very, very much. I really want to thank her a whole lot for giving me this information. Something that I find very quiet in the public domain. You're not hearing it. You're not hearing about this at all. But I want to hear your views on it. My lawyer partner, who called earlier on, my real partner, I could do that. I could call him out. I want to hear your views on this because I find it starkly strange that you're not hearing anything at all about this. Where is it? This is it here. Miss Lady, you had to summon that in a different way. Right.
The United States and Israel were waging war on Iran in June. The Global South-led organization BRICS quietly announced a new partner country. Vietnam has officially become a partner country in BRICS. This is very important because Vietnam is a major country in Southeast Asia. It has a population of nearly 100 million. Its economy has been growing very quickly. It's become a major manufacturing powerhouse for producing technological goods. And now Vietnam is part of the 20 countries that are members and partners of BRICS. Now, BRICS was founded in 2009 by Brazil, Russia, India, and China. And in 2010, South Africa joined. And in 2024, BRICS added 5 new full members, which are Egypt, Ethiopia, Indonesia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. And in 2025, BRICS added 10 partner states, which are on the path to full membership in the near future. Those countries are Belarus, Bolivia, Cuba, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Nigeria, Thailand, Uganda, Uzbekistan, and Vietnam. Together, these 10 members and 10 partners represent the BRICS 20, often referred to as BRICS Plus. And together, the BRICS 20 make up more than 2/5 of the global economy. BRICS Plus is 44% of global gross domestic product, GDP, when you measure it at purchasing power parity, PPP. 44%, over 2/5 of the world economy. Moreover, BRICS represents the majority of the world population. Together, these 20 countries represent 4.45 billion people out of a population of 8 billion. So it's becoming undeniable that BRICS is an extremely important organization. Unfortunately, Western media outlets and governments often ignore BRICS and treat it like it's insignificant. But we're talking about a Global South-led organization that now represents over 2/5 of the global economy and over half of the world population.
You all hear that? I want to thank my friend. I can't play the whole thing. But I want to thank a friend who shared that on her status. Piqued my interest. And I listened to it. And I want to tell all you something at Trinidad and Tobago and by extension the world. Will you feel all the things that are happening in the world today is by chance? It's not happening by chance. The raising of the American visa. You know that you have to pay more to get American visa now. In Trinidad and Tobago, it's $200 and something US dollars for American visa now. Close to $3,000 to get a British visa. Me, you know, when I go back to England, you know. They might have to come to England, they might have to pay for that. You listen to me? Then on top of that, is BRICS thing. The world is getting very interesting. Very, very interesting. And we, Tunapuna, Labre, Point Fortin, San Fernando West, Sandy Grande, Maruga Tableland, all your vote, six seats. St. Joseph, all your vote resoundingly for somebody who want to touch our constitution and make some serious changes. For what reason? I said to you last night, the reason for me, one of the things I'm looking at is that there is the EMBD case. There is the EMBD case. There is also the matter with the former Attorney General from 2010 and other matters that we need to keep our eyes on. Hello, good evening. On other matters. Okay, caller, you need to call me back. You need to call me back. Right? Because somehow or the other, I find it passing strange. Lawyer, Will, my lawyer, brethren, where are you? Because I find it passing strange that so early in your term, you are now presenting to this nation something that will touch our judiciary. Why? Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
It's very interesting that from my recollection, is only two women president has been attacked. When in between 2010 and 2015, when the ruling party had big president, he never attacked. Well, in fact, yes. Every time the opposition of that, you know what? Because the same thing happened with Mr. Robinson. He was attacked by the opposition leader at that time because in 19 he attacked him. It's only that time when Dr. Ike William was there was never that type of attack. But anytime the Lady U get into power and they don't get what they vote, they always attack. Remember the insipid what? And nobody nothing happened. That we know that the lady was impeached. So I have a question. Do the PM know who the independent senators vote for?
There's something that that the PRO of the UNC said, Mr. Mehu. He said that they have been looking at the pattern of the voting of the independent senators. Now, they are only in office 2 months, 2 months. But they have been watching the opposition, the independent senators or the senators that the president put. They have been watching their pattern of voting since they were in opposition. So they are saying that they have never supported them fully when they were in opposition. So they don't expect them to support them when they are in government. That is what Mr. Mayhew is basing his information on.
Yeah, but you see, and what percentage? I don't. He never do statistics. I don't know what his doctorate is in, but let me leave it as that. If you do a statistic, how long has the PNM been in government? It's longer, so therefore they will have a longer time of individuals. So therefore, it's like what? Let's say what? Mr. Pandey, 5 years, ONR, 3 years. UNC, the present leader, 10 years? So what do you expect? When you do analysis, of course, you will have a greater amount from, so, that is idiotic. That is not proper statistics. So he can do what he wants. Let me see what I have to say. But I will, so you cannot use that because he's going back. And the current with independent will be in. They can do what you want. The independent have to vote. As again, I said yesterday, you don't caucus as the other two individuals that belong to parties. They don't caucus. In fact, it's on the PN, is on the UNC side. When they caucused, when that doctor, what's his name, from UE, that caucused on a bill they had was to deal with.
Yeah.
And they caucus.
Yeah.
And it was never supposed. And there's no leader in the independent bench.
Yep.
But they end up and that is a big. You see, when the shoe is on the other foot, and that always happen with human beings, when the shoe is on the other foot, we have a tendency to turn things.
Yes.
But remember, you might do something for your detriment, which is detriment to you, and you have to be careful. But I think the independents are professionals, and as a professional, they will continue to act as professionals. So they just have to do their work. And I want to thumbs up to the independents. Continue doing what they have to do. Vote. And again, one thing that I dislike about, well, it's part of our, and I think we need to change it. You see this abstaining, I think is as an individual, it has to be yes or no. It's either for or against. You cannot walk that white line. There's no white line. It's for or against.
All right.
That is the thing. But if we have it that way, so that's how it has to be.
Yeah.
All right, until.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bishop. So let me play for you what this Lord Chancellor thing is about. I'll take this call. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Yes, good evening, sir.
Pastor Google?
Uh-huh.
God don't like evil.
Uh-huh.
Stop it.
Uh-huh.
All the laws fair and square.
What is the problem? What is the problem? Nobody is questioning the lost. We're talking about what they are doing. We are looking at what the government is presenting to the nation of Trinidad and Tobago. So we shouldn't talk. Are you saying that I should shut down this live and don't talk about the Lord Chancellor that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is want to present to us? Do you know what is a Lord Chancellor?
Yes, I know what is a Lord Chancellor.
What is a Lord Chancellor?
But you.
No. What is a Lord Chancellor? Don't focus on me. What is a Lord Chancellor?
You are focusing on you. You have to listen.
Oh, no, I don't have to listen. No, sorry, I don't have to listen. I don't have to listen to you. Because you feel you're bright. You're trying to play smart with foolishness. We lost fair and square. We're not talking about no loss. Listen what is our Lord Chancellor. Learn something tonight.
The Lord Chancellor, formerly the Lord High Chancellor of Great Britain, is the highest ranking among those great officers of state which are appointed regularly in the United Kingdom, nominally outranking even the Prime Minister. The Lord Chancellor is outranked only by the Lord High Steward, another great officer of state, who is appointed only for the day of coronations. The Lord Chancellor is appointed by the Sovereign on the advice of the Prime Minister. Prior to the Union there were separate Lord Chancellors for England and Wales, for Scotland, and for Ireland. The Lord Chancellor is a member of the Cabinet and, by law, is responsible for the efficient functioning and independence of the courts. In 2007, there were a number of changes to the legal system and to the office of the Lord Chancellor. Formerly, the Lord Chancellor was also the presiding officer of the House of Lords, the head of the judiciary in England and Wales, and the presiding judge of the Chancery Division of the High Court of Justice, but the Constitutional Reform Act 2005 transferred these roles to the Lord Speaker, the Lord Chief Justice, and the Chancellor of the High Court respectively. The current Lord Chancellor is David Gauke, who is also Secretary of State for Justice. One of the Lord Chancellor's responsibilities is to act as the custodian of the Great Seal of the realm, kept historically in the Lord Chancellor's purse. A Lord Keeper of the Great Seal may be appointed instead of a Lord Chancellor. The two offices entail exactly the same duties, the only distinction is in the mode of appointment. Furthermore, the office of Lord Chancellor may be exercised by a committee of individuals known as Lords Commissioners of the Great Seal, usually when there is a delay between an outgoing Chancellor and their replacement. The seal is then said to be in commission. Since the 19th century, however, only Lord Chancellors have been appointed, the other offices having fallen into disuse.
So, to the caller who called just now, I know you didn't know who was a Lord Chancellor. So you just heard it. You all have any concerns? Just anything that man just read out there. Anything that man just said there. Kinda worry you? Trinidad and Tobago and the world? Who listening? Anything that man just said there worries you at all? Or you're comfortable with what you all just heard? No, I really want to know. Anything that man just said there, did it irk any of you? Did it worry any of you? Did it pop up at you? Did anything pop up at you? Anything jumped out at you? Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Anything that man just said there popped out at you?
So you forgive me if I make just a...
All right, no, that is not the one I want to play. I want to play one for you. I want to play it for you.
A chancellor in the judiciary. Now, you may not understand what it means. At the moment, our system has a chief justice. But the chief justice has to do the administration. The chief justice has to introduce a chancellor in the judiciary. Now, you may not understand what it means. At the moment, our system has a chief justice. But the chief justice has to do the administration. The chief justice has to deliver judgments and oversee the whole operations. But the way that the country has grown, we have outlived that kind of model. Because everything is more and more and more, the number of cases being filed. So we have discussed this, Honorable Attorney General, on our instructions, talk to the Law Reform Commission to examine the establishment of a Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago. The Law Reform Commission has prepared a research note, and we will be reviewing that in the Cabinet. The Chief Justice will still be in charge of the judiciary, but the Chancellor will oversee the day-to-day logistics and the running of the courts.
Olia! Come now. Olia not hearing anything there that jumping out at Olia? You are not worried about anything there? We lost fair and square, so hush your mouth. Relax yourself. Come off the live. Really? We serious? We accepting that? You heard what would be the role and function of the Chancellor, the Lord Chancellor? You heard what I played for you earlier on about the Lord Chancellor in England? Who chose the Lord Chancellor? Who choosing our Lord Chancellor? Olia, you see me? Let me play my thing. Come off this live and don't get myself in trouble. Wake up, you know, Trinidad and Tobago. Wake up, you know. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. Good night, Pastor Google.
Good evening, sir.
I just want to say to the last speaker who talked about Lawton and Fair and Square. I just want you to be focused.
Yeah, man.
And have your water. There's that bottle of water. Take 3 sips of water.
Yes,
so that
sir.
it wouldn't raise your pressure.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Okay?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's nice.
Thank you.
One listen.
Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. What happening there is the one guy where she and the Attorney General sit down. So the man will do the bidding for the government.
Hey!
And anything that is say, that is what's going to happen. That is the guy to do the bidding for she.
All right.
So
I hear you.
No.
I hear you. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good day.
Good evening.
The Lord Chancellor coming from the cabinet.
Uh-huh.
The Prime Minister picking the Lord Chancellor.
Beautiful.
So all these cases that they have, and he taking care of the court.
Uh-huh.
So all those cases, what are you going to do with it?
Oh,
good.
Doesn't that worry you?
Of course, but tell that man to call that talk. It's crap. I see how he started to look.
Oh, God. Call her.
Learn something now. Oh, gosh. You talk lost fair and square. Anybody talking about lost fair and square?
Nobody talking about loss. We talking about, apparently we got lost with judiciary.
It's them stupid ones, so that's caused have we this position, them so they say one thing and run like the elephant, go down so and you're gone. You ain't hearing where to go though. Go down so you're gone. So you have to come back now to find out where to go.
My goodness. My goodness. Thank you very much, caller.
EMBD case and thing. Oh Lord,
Jesus, EMBD. What go on with that?
Airport.
Let me hear the Lord Chancellor again.
What is again, boy? The dead man representation.
Oh,
prison gate.
My goodness, Papa, yo.
The chassis numbers. Lord, icon.
Thank you, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller. Oh, yeah. Wake up, you know. Wake up, you know. When are we going to wake up? Let us hear, listen carefully. I will take your calls.
The Lord Chancellor, formerly the Lord High Chancellor of Great Britain, is the highest ranking among those great officers of state which are appointed regularly in the United Kingdom, nominally outranking even the Prime Minister. The Lord Chancellor is outranked only by the Lord High Steward, another great officer of state, who is appointed only for the day of coronations. The Lord Chancellor is appointed by the Sovereign on the advice of the Prime Minister. Prior to the Union there were separate Lord Chancellors for England and Wales, for Scotland, and for Ireland. The Lord Chancellor is a member of the Cabinet and, by law, is responsible for the efficient functioning and independence of the courts.
You all heard that? Did Miss Bissessa didn't say that? Just say that? But she didn't say that he's going to be chosen by the cabinet or somebody from the cabinet. She didn't say that. But what she said was what he just said. She said, what is the responsibility of the Lord Chancellor? Could it be? Don't say it. Because I want to say it, you know. Could it be? Could it be that the Lord Chancellor is somebody who we face right now? Plain sight. Plain sight. We see in that person right now who may just be the Lord Chancellor or the Chancellor and making room for a former Attorney General to come back. Could it be? Is that one of the gifts? Listen, Trinidad and Tobago and the world by extension.
The Lord Chancellor, formerly the Lord High Chancellor of Great Britain, is the highest ranking among those great officers of state which are appointed regularly in the United Kingdom, nominally outranking even the Prime Minister. The Lord Chancellor is outranked only by the Lord High Steward, another great officer of state, who is appointed only for the day of coronations. The Lord Chancellor is appointed by the Sovereign on the advice of the Prime Minister. Prior to the Union there were separate Lord Chancellors for England and Wales, for Scotland, and for Ireland. The Lord Chancellor is a member of the Cabinet and, by law, is responsible for the efficient functioning and independence of the courts. In 2007, there were a number of changes to the legal system and to the office of the Lord Chancellor. Formerly, the Lord Chancellor was also the presiding officer of the House of Lords, the head of the judiciary in England and Wales, and the presiding judge of the Chancery Division of the High Court of Justice, but the Constitutional Reform Act 2005 transferred these roles to the Lord Speaker.
So what really happened is that they don't have, based on what he is saying, they don't have how we have a Chief Justice. They don't have a Chief Justice. The Lord Chancellor is the Chief Justice. So the role and function of what Chief Justice does is what the Lord Chancellor does in England. So you hear Ms. Bissessa say she's not touching the Chief Justice, but she have a Lord Chancellor. Oh, yeah. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Pastor.
Loud and clear, good evening.
Yes, Pastor. So yesterday I was saying that this lady is bringing somebody parallel to this Chief Justice, and it's going to cause chaos. Because how could you possibly bring someone who is parallel to this man? So who's going to be more powerful than who in the system?
I don't know.
Because you create chaos. We already have somebody who's carrying that portfolio in our system. But why do you need somebody else to carry the exact same portfolio? Who is going to select him or her? How much money him or her is going to be paid? Because we don't need that. So why you insist that we need that? Is it because it can't control the person who has that portfolio right now? Pastor?
But my question is, how we not hearing this in mainstream media though? How come nobody on mainstream media is talking about this Lord Chancellor?
Pastor,
is it because
nobody mainstream media could make noise because they are all boss and they all make deals behind closed doors? They made open them out and deal off. Plain talk bad manners. Nobody can nobody this whole government by everybody nobody can talk because we are all bought. So you don't expect mainstream media the right now them open you see if you know we are never about it.
Wow.
Right now everybody move around with their eyes wide shut.
Wow.
Guys, I think we're living right now. So don't ask them not more mainstream media because they are all bought. Every one of them.
Wow.
They can't make no money because the bills off. They all made bad deals. The second open out, the bill off. And I was saying, so how could you possibly bring someone who is going to run parallel to this person in our system? So who's going to be more powerful than who?
Wow. I hear you, caller.
Clearly, they are going to overlap each other. Because he can't talk to the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice can't talk to he. So who is going to more or less be in charge of who? What I'm saying is this is going to cause chaos. One person want to cancel the media. That's how I see it.
Thank you.
And how much this person is going to be paid? Let me speak.
Thank you very much.
Introduce a chancellor in the judiciary. Now, you may not understand what it means. At the moment, our system has a Chief Justice. But the Chief Justice has to do the administration. The Chief Justice has to deliver judgments and oversee the whole operations. But the way that the country has grown, we have outlived that kind of model. Because everything is more and more and more, the number of cases being filed. So we have discussed this, Honorable Attorney General, on our instructions, talk to the Law Reform Commission to examine the establishment of a Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago. The Law Reform Commission has prepared a research note, and we will be reviewing that in the...
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello. All right. All right. I take in all the calls, 464-7003. 464-7003. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening, Pastor. So, the point about it, we're going to tell the Chief Justice that you have to do your bidding. And if you can't do your bidding, well, then we'll get somebody to bid for me. Because you are pointing everything. You see now about everything, you're putting people in place. So, when the Chancellor come in now, according to what I hear, and he feel to move Judge Sipasad from there, he's entitled to move the man. And he could sit down there and do what he wants and make what determination he wants in cases. We can handle it. But you know what does get me? There's a lot of educated lawyers in that UNC. When everybody voted as winner, and when everybody win or something like that. They educated. The people them who listening to them, the supporters, not educated. And these people them go educate these people them, right? And that will explain me all the time. I tell you all this thing with Chancellor and firing people and what you're doing, that is heading into dictatorship. And if people can't see that as dictator, well, that's up to them. But it come in, two more come in. We come in devaluation and we come in IMF just now. Later on.
Thank you very much. I don't know what to say anymore, because this Lord Chancellor thing, we wait to hear where this going, where Ms. Bissessa is going with this. I'll just play it out. I'll play all the rest of it for you all to hear. But I really want to know where we're going with this Lord Chancellor. Because you all heard clearly, right? You all hearing clearly what a Lord Chancellor, where the phrase come from. It came from England. And we're hearing what the Lord Chancellor, who chooses the Lord Chancellor in England. How is a Lord Chancellor going to be chosen in Trinidad and Tobago? By the cabinet? Isn't the judiciary supposed to be independent of politicians? But then we're hearing what a Lord Chancellor's remit is from the UK. It's just some things to think about, some things to just be aware of. I'm just pointing out to you, the viewers, listeners, on Constructive Talk, something that was said at a political meeting, something that jumped out at me because I'm studying law, doing my little law. And when I heard it, I sent it to, someone, and they were concerned, and they told me to do my research on it. And if we as a nation just voted 2 months ago, we're not worried about what we're hearing here. Because we vote, and as the man said, they win or they lost. So because they win and we lost, we should shut up and leave it alone. What are we talking about it for? So it shouldn't worry us. And I'm sure that the man who called me to tell me that could be my father. I'm sure that the person who's texting every minute to tell me is a false pastor could be my father. You understand? Because, somebody sent a message. I will never listen or support any of the media in this country. They are biased. They are biased. You telling me nobody? I'm not hearing it on any mainstream media. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hey, Wabden, I'm back inside again, right?
Talk to me.
Now, you see, one of the important distinctions that you made that I think it went over people's head. The Lord Chancellor in England was also a judicial officer, right?
Right.
Which meant that he could have been scheduled to sit on cases.
Thank you.
It wasn't always done, but nothing prevented him in law how it was before the law was changed in 2005 from doing that. So I give you a scenario, right? Let me just say the judicial chancellor here is not a cabinet member appointed by the prime minister or recommended to the president to be appointed, right? That's like she's saying now that the independent senators appointed by the president, right? So let me say you remove the prime minister. Okay. The Lord Chancellor then decides to sit on a case. I am going to adjudicate, take the EMBD case away from Justice Aboud, and I am going to do it. And then we then hear, hey, this matter is thrown out for want of prosecution. That is a case down the drain, right? That we had good evidence. Now, hear what they will say. The state can appeal. The state can appeal and so on. But if who has to bear the cost? Because remember the Prime Minister also said quite clearly, we stay in the Privy Council. Who paying the cost of the appeals, Pastor Google and fellow countrymen? Not the poor taxpayers, ourselves, sir. And if it goes all the way to the Privy Council, and the Privy Council says, hey, this was bad law, this matter should not have been thrown out, I hereby award costs. Who is to pay those costs, Pastor Google? Who will it fall on? These are things we have to consider. And that is the reason why the Tony Blair administration reformed the law so that these kind of things could not happen. Is this the road that we want to tread down? Because our party has a majority? All right, Pastor Google.
But before you leave though, I am asking us to keep our eyes on this. There's a lot of
we have to
because you realize that mainstream media is not talking about it.
No. Just as how they wouldn't ask question about how you're going to police marijuana smoking at 25 and legal drinking at 21 when the horse has already bolted the stable, because people still have the 4 marijuana plants per person in the household. No. How are you going to police that? How are you going to tell a young couple who get married at 21 that they can't toast at the wedding with champagne or drink any alcohol? Now, if you're saying the age to legally purchase and drink alcohol in public is 21, how are you handling it in the private space, Pastor Google? Oh, I forget. They'll create jobs, so you'll get more police to do that. My bad. Sorry. I forgot. Things to consider.
Yes, sir.
But all these is just distraction points from the promises that they will not be able to fulfill for the people. That's what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit. Take care, Pastor.
Thank you very much for your call. Appreciate all the time. I am I'm looking to. I am really. So I want to finish play what Ms. Bisessa is saying. Right? I want to play what Ms. Bisessa said at the meeting on Monday, so that you could be aware of what she's bringing and what she's proposing about the Lord Chancellor. Take a listen.
Introduce a chancellor in the judiciary. Now, you may not understand what it means. At the moment, our system has a chief justice. But the chief justice has to do the administration. The chief justice has to deliver judgments and oversee the whole operations. But the way that the country has grown, we have outlived that kind of model. Because everything is more and more and more, the number of cases being filed. So we have discussed this, Honorable Attorney General, on our instructions, talk to the Law Reform Commission to examine the establishment of a Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago. The Law Reform Commission has prepared a research note, and we will be reviewing that in the Cabinet. The Chief Justice will still be in charge of the judiciary, but the Chancellor will oversee the day-to-day logistics and the running of the courts. At the same time, the Chief Justice will focus on managing legal cases and overseeing the judges.
Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
She actually say, hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Okay, I have a question. Did she actually say Lord Chancellor, or did she say Chancellor of Justice?
Well, she said, I heard her said Lord Chancellor just now.
Okay, because they're two different things. You can't be a Lord Chancellor because we're not a monarchy.
Right.
So she's not understood, or we're not understanding what she means.
All right, but what is the role of a chancellor, though? She's saying, what is the role of a chancellor? When I played, what is the role of a chancellor in England? It's the same thing.
No. Chancellor of Justice is an executive. Basically, that monitors the government, not the judiciary.
But just now, but that's not what she's saying. When she said about the Lord, when she said about a chancellor, she's saying for the judiciary. And then when I Google and I play the role of a chancellor in England, they deal with the judiciary.
Yeah, a chancellor of justice, but justice for the government.
No, but that's not what she's proposing.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So maybe she's conflating two things. Maybe she doesn't know. I don't know.
No, but it's a white paper bill that she presented to her supporters on Monday. So on Monday, that's why I'm playing it to know, and that is why on this morning the former Attorney General Faris Alwari touched on it too, and he said what we actually have somebody like that. They're not called that name. They're not called chancellor, but they function in that role already.
Right. So the position already exists.
But no, not in the way that Ms. Bisessa is saying.
Mm-hmm. Well. So needless to say, we cannot have a Lord Chancellor because we're not a monarchy.
But she's saying that she wants to have a chancellor.
Well, she can't. I mean, they're going to shoot. She can't get it past the Senate. Can she? I mean, who's going to allow her to do that? I mean, the people aren't that stupid, are they?
Mom, I hear you, but you know what? You're saying that. I hear the honesty in you, but hey, you'll be surprised, you know. You'll be surprised. Trust me, you'll be surprised.
No, somebody's going to call her out.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to...
Yeah.
My thing is that I am just bringing the country and everybody aware of what she is presenting to us, so that it's not going to be something that when the bill comes before the parliament, everybody will be like, but we never know about this. At least there is at least 600 and something people on YouTube, and we have at least so much.
We heard it, yes.
We have some people on Facebook, about 50 something people on Facebook, who is aware that this is what is being proposed. That's all I'm doing.
Yep, I get you.
And I don't think that I'm doing anything wrong, or it's something bad that I'm doing.
No, I was just I just wanted to hear clearly what she said. If she said she's gonna institute a Lord Chancellor, and Lord Chancellor, we don't even have a House of Lords, Lord Chancellor or a Chancellor of Justice, because they're two different things.
Right.
That's all.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. You have a good night.
Same to you. Thanks for calling.
Okay, bye.
Let's go again.
Introduce a chancellor in the judiciary. Now, you may not understand what it means. At the moment, our system has a chief justice. But the chief justice has to do the administration. The chief justice has to deliver judgments and oversee the whole operations. But the way that the country has grown, we have outlived that kind of model. Because everything is more and more and more, the number of cases being filed. So we have discussed this, Honorable Attorney General, on our instructions. Talk to the Law Reform Commission to examine the establishment of a Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago.
So she said Lord Chancellor. She said it. So to the lady who called just now, she said it. She said Lord Chancellor. So I wasn't wrong. At the beginning, she said Chancellor. But when she starting to go into the speech and into the explanation, she said Lord Chancellor. And the caller is saying, but is she confused? How can she say Lord Chancellor when we do have a monarchy? Okay. So to the caller who just called, I'll ask me if she said, but she didn't say Lord Chancellor, she said Chancellor. Ma'am, she just said Lord Chancellor. Okay. You know me. You know me. Hello, good evening.
Pastor Google.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good night, sir.
Hi.
I am listening, I am watching, and I am taking note of what is going on in our country. Dictatorship is coming upon us.
Oh.
But you see, the sad thing about it, had it been Dr. Rowley said anything like that, they would have rolled him over the coals 1,000,000 times. You understand? So much things are happening. But like we still not seeing. We still not understand what it is going on. These people have an agenda. And they are going to carry out their bidding. Because they're doing it. Pastor Google? They're doing it. Look at simple as this. People are watching these things. After they won the elections, did they import something and put it in Pierre Road?
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, they put some shrine, something, the first ever exported from India. The only other country in the world has that shrine or whatever it is in Trinidad and Tobago, and put it down Pierre Road. These are things, and also when this guy came last week, he planted a plant by the Red House, and then he said plant in different corners of Trinidad and Tobago. What are we doing? We don't understand what is going on in this country. We really not understand what it is going on. These people are involved in a lot of witchcraft. Things has been said over this country, and they are carrying out their biddings. This man didn't come here just like that. Kamala is not standing up on a platform and saying things just so. They have planned this stuff, and they are doing it. 20,000 people gone home. Nobody's talking about that. She didn't speak about it like what Farisa Wari said today. They didn't speak about that in the Monday night forum. But that's why I couldn't now go Jamaica. Because after they done made your stupid comments, did all the CCG, and then they say Jamaica, tell Jamaica we're not ATM. You can't go. We have to understand these people is taking us down a road where the IMF is going to come in. Because we can't be creating jobs and firing people. 20,000 people going home, and the Roger ain't saying nothing, and he said the next one from down library, his library 0.4, what you say? Collateral damage? We need to understand what's going on. This place has a lot of evil. And another thing too, what I watched, there were churches and pastors that were against Dr. Rowley and the PNM. If the church is fighting the church, we have a serious problem in Trinidad. The Bible gives us specific directions. Choose the lesser of the two evils. He never said one is good, one is bad. Choose the lesser. And if the church is fighting, there's so many things going on in Trinidad. We don't understand. This thing is going down a serious road. They wanted to go in the Jerusalem to choose a chancellor. So what are they going to do with all the cases? Just get rid of them? Throw them out? People going to get pardoned? This thing is very, very serious. Very, very serious. And I'm taking note. I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm listening to the information you're bringing. And I am reading and I'm listening and I'm watching. This place is not going down a good road. So much people are being hired. There are 6 more executives in Iwasa being hired. How are they going to get paid? Where are they getting the money from to pay these people? So much things happening and we're not seeing. Look, why they close down the hospital in Tobago? Is there an outbreak in Tobago? All these things I'm watching, there's so much happening in Trinidad and Tobago. But the media is sanitizing the UNC and Fali.
Thank you very much.
Sanitizing them. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Pastor Guru, good night.
Hi, good evening.
First time caller to your program.
Thank you very much.
You know, tonight I'm listening to your program and a lot of things is just coming through my head. A couple of years ago, we had an attorney general who bought in 2 Range Rovers, same chassis number. That case is before the court for over 10 years.
There's so many cases that are before the court that haven't been able to find itself. Look, what's going on with Watson Duke case?
Pastor Google,
There are many cases.
I am seeing Mrs. Prasad Bishesa all the years telling us that Dr. Rowley is a dictator.
Yeah.
Who is the dictator?
Okay.
Did Mrs. Bishesa consult anybody?
Well, they said that they're going to do consultation on it. Well, I think so. Because I want to play it before I leave because I have to come off now. But I want to play it before I leave where I'm not sure if she is going to do consultation.
But one more thing.
Uh-huh.
And Trinidad and Tobago is a republic?
Yeah.
What is our concern with this chancellor?
Lord Chancellor?
This Lord Chancellor. Where are we going with this?
So let's keep them on the P's and Q's. Let us keep abreast on how it's going. So.
Now you're seeing why Mrs. Bishesa is surrounding herself with people, these minutes. Like Saddam Hussein.
But I don't want you to call any names, please, because you see what's happening in the media, where the High Court is dealing with people like me who are allowing people to say things about people.
I apologize. I would not call any name.
Yeah, don't call any names to me.
I wouldn't call any name.
Yeah.
But the thing about it, what is worrying me, we have to hit the streets.
What we have to do, while you're saying we have to hit the streets, what we have to do is, you see, platform like mine, we have to keep it going. We have to continue because these discussions and platforms like this that giving you genuine truth and straightforward information, we have to keep platforms like these up and running. I had to go caller.
We should. We should.
Yes.
We should. We must.
Yes, ma'am.
Because what is going to happen? What is going to happen is that one of these days we will wake up and see that we in a handbasket heading down the river.
Yeah, so but that's why that's what I'm saying. That's why we have platforms like this to keep us on our guard and keep us aware of what is happening in Trinidad and Tobago. I have to go call her. Thank you very much.
All these cases we have before the judiciary.
Don't worry, sir.
EMBD.
Yeah. We will look at it. That's what I tell you. We're keeping our eyes on them. We're keeping our eyes on it. All right?
We have to.
All right, man. Thanks very much. Okay. Thanks for calling.
Brother. Take care.
Yeah,
have a good night.
Same to you. All right, so I need to play this before I leave, too. I want you to listen to it carefully.
Introduce a chancellor in the judiciary. Now, you may not understand what it means. At the moment, our system has a chief justice. But the chief justice has to do the administration. The chief justice has to deliver judgments and oversee the whole operations. But the way that the country has grown, we have outlived that kind of model. Because everything is more and more and more, the number of cases being filed. So we have discussed this, Honorable Attorney General, on our instructions. Talk to the Law Reform Commission to examine the establishment of a Lord Chancellor of the Judiciary of Trinidad and Tobago. The Law Reform Commission has prepared a research note, and we will be reviewing that in the Cabinet. The Chief Justice will still be in charge of the judiciary, but the Chancellor will oversee the day-to-day logistics and the running of the courts.
So, semantics. Chancellor, Lord Chancellor. She's using the two terms. You heard I said at the beginning, Chancellor. You heard I said in the middle, Lord Chancellor. And you heard I said just now, Chancellor. So we know exactly where they're going with this. I can't take any more calls. My time is up. I want to say thank you to all of you being on the live this evening. Thanks for sharing the information. Thanks for staying with me. All right. And see you guys tomorrow, please God. All right. Talk to you.
Baby, follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Follow my command, like zombie. Go down on me, oh, with your coca body. Cause this your milky for front enough for me. Hold on for me, I no go to me corny. And if you're milky na fighty, I saw me to look. Oh baby, smile, baby, gonna, waka when you enter my licha. Baby, gonna.
So again, we want to thank Yak and Friends for sponsoring our first half an hour on Constructive Talk. Remember, Yak and Friends event is happening on the 26th of July 2025 at City Hall, San Fernando at 3 p.m. All right. So you can call the number 684-7192 for more information. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Please God. Thank you all very much for being on Constructive Talk.